Have you ever seen a ghost? Probably not, because they're very hard to find. They just appear out of nowhere and then disappear. And if you can hear them, well, then you're even more blessed than the rest of us. The beauty about these videos is that whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's still something here for everyone to enjoy. So let's not waste any time, guys. Let's get into it. For believers, it's simply the thrill of knowing that what you're watching could be the genuine article. And for non-believers, it's the mystery of it all. By 1928, the original asylum was deemed to be obsolete and was closed. However, the second asylum continued treating patients until it was finally closed in 1994. And while there have been no conclusive findings, there are several reported sightings that make for interesting stories. One of the most famous is that of a little girl who is said to roam the asylum's grounds. She's often seen by patients and staff alike, and she's always accompanied by the sound of children laughing. Some believe that she is the ghost of a little girl who died in the asylum many years ago. Others believe that she is the ghost of a young woman who took her own life after giving birth to a baby boy in the asylum and then having him taken away from her. While the asylum may be abandoned, it's far from forgotten. The people of Ararat are proud of their town's history, and they take great pride in the asylum. In recent years, the asylum has become a popular tourist destination. People from all over the world come to Ararat to see the asylum and learn about its history. There are regular tours of the asylum, and there's even a museum dedicated to its history. Despite its dark past, the asylum is a beautiful building, and it makes for a great photo opportunity. However, it's important to remember that the asylum is also a gravesite. Many of the patients who died in the asylum are buried on the grounds, and it's important to be respectful when visiting. Either way, her story is a sad one, and it's sure to tug at your heartstrings. It's likely that it will continue to sit abandoned for many years to come. However, there are a few groups who are working to save the asylum. They want to turn it into a heritage site, and they hope that the government will eventually agree. Only time will tell what will happen to the asylum. But one thing is for sure, it will never be forgotten. Remember to follow for more spine-chilling tales, and I'll catch you next time. It was built to replace the overcrowded and understaffed Ararat Lunatic Asylum, which had reached capacity with over 1,000 patients. He's usually seen pushing his wheelchair around the asylum's corridors, and he's often heard shouting and screaming. And if you haven't, I highly recommend checking it out on your next trip to Australia. The author did an amazing job researching and writing this script, and I couldn't have asked for a better partner on this project. If you haven't already, please show your support by following them on social media and subscribing to their channel. It's truly a unique place that you won't soon forget. Some believe that he's the ghost of a patient who died in the asylum, while others believe that he is the ghost of a staff member who was killed in a car accident on the asylum grounds. Regardless of who he is, he's definitely one of the asylum's most active ghosts. The new facility would become known as the Ararat Lunatic Asylum, although locals would refer to it as the Retreat. The building itself is also incredibly eerie. The asylum's architecture is designed to keep patients inside. They were seen as nothing more than animals in a zoo. They were studied and experimented on without their consent, and they were treated like garbage. This lack of humanity is what makes the asylum so creepy today. It feels like the staff never really left, and they're still watching and experimenting on the visitors. And it does such a good job that even visitors feel trapped when they enter. The asylum's rooms are dark and dank, and the hallways seem to go on forever. It's easy to get lost in the asylum, both physically and mentally. It was hoped that the fresh air and open spaces of its new country location would be beneficial for the patients. The asylum's first medical superintendent, Dr. John Greenlees, believed that outdoor work would be therapeutic for many of his patients. He introduced farming and gardening as occupational therapy, hoping it would help restore them to health. Unfortunately, this didn't work out too well. Patients were found wandering around the farm carrying sickles, chasing each other around and threatening to cut off one another's heads. Work quickly ceased, and the asylum became known for its poor treatment of patients. Sadly, the asylum would remain this way for decades. You never know. Your mind will always try and find an explanation for what you see. Some mysteries are best left unsolved. Some of you may not believe in ghosts at all, and hey, that's perfectly fine. Today we're headed to Australia to check out one of their most haunted places, the old Ararat Lunatic Asylum. The history of the asylum Construction of the Ararat Lunatic Asylum began in 1867 and was completed 3 years later in 1870. In the early 1900s, a second asylum was constructed right next door after overcrowding again became an issue: hauntings at the asylum. Over the years, the asylum has been the subject of numerous paranormal investigations. Another ghost that's often seen at the asylum is that of a man in a wheelchair. One of the most terrifying things about the asylum is that it's not just the ghosts that make it so creepy. When the asylum was in operation, it was clear that the staff didn't care about the patients. Asylum today, the asylum stands abandoned and empty, slowly crumbling to pieces, and the ghosts that roam its halls are its only inhabitants. The future of the asylum is uncertain. The Victorian government has no plans for the asylum. Conclusion. If you've ever been to the Ararat Lunatic Asylum, I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments below. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to thank the author for their incredible work. And now it's time to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the dark side of history.